Hey girlies, welcome back to the Notes to Her podcast. Yay! To be honest, every time I do this introduction, I always think to myself like little claps, like you know that sound effect that goes yay. I may have to add that in. Hello, welcome back. Bonjour, hola. I was gonna say arrivederci, ciao. I was gonna say something in Gar, but that's thank you rather than good morning. Akwaba. Welcome. Entry. Hey, bilingual babe. Hi, girlies. Welcome to the Notes to Her podcast. If you're new here, hello. My name is Rianne. I'm your host, S with the most S. I'm running on good energy. But yeah, how are we all? How are we feeling? It's another week, another episode. Yeah. Before we get into the episode, please, if you're new here, please click comment. Please click comment. Please hit the subscribe button, comment, share, like, and even if you are, have been part of the community already of the girlies, please do the same thing, like, comment, subscribe, share. I'm trying. I don't know what all this does, but as always, we are learning, we're growing. So yeah. How are we all? Let's catch up with the week. What have we been up to? What have we been doing? It's been work, gym, going out with friends. The sun's been shining. Vibes are high. Sun is shining today. Yeah, I'm still with this blanket, so let's not even watch that. It is actually for comfort. Yeah. How's the week been? It's been good. I've been really consistent with gym for like the past I don't know, say 2-3 months. So I've been going gym back to back, but I'm trying to get into that. Yeah, just consistency. So I'm really proud of myself. So my week's been just like full of gym, stuff in the morning, and then try and do like little bits of studying here and there. And then also as well, work. I just got more free time to do things now. So it's just something where trying to like utilize my time more wisely. But to be honest with you, by the time I wake up in the morning and go to the gym and come back and everything like that, like I'm bloody knackered. Like, and then like, when you just do like other little bits here and there. But yeah, trying to carve out time and not procrastinate, which is something that we're talking about in today's episode, is procrastination. I feel like I've also touched on it in a previous episode, especially like in the avoidance episode. So yeah, we'll get into that for sure. But yeah, let's check in with ourselves. How are we feeling today? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pumped. I'm feeling quite excited. I'm feeling really proud of myself, for starting back with the pod and recording these episodes and really like mentally preparing my mind of like, no, like you need to do this. Like you actually need to do this. So I'm feeling very really proud of myself, feeling like I deserve a reward for actually no longer procrastinating and doing what I need to be doing and want to be doing as well. So yeah, I'm on positive vibes. I'm on high energy. I'm feeling pretty good. Girlies, how are we feeling today? Are you feeling sad, a bit anxious, fearful? Are you feeling good, pumped, energized? Because I know life can be rough and tough and, challenging at times, but it can be so beautiful, and also it can feel really grateful and full of gratitude as well. So yeah, just check in with yourselves and see how you're feeling, what emotions are coming up today. Because to be honest with you, we can just go on about our day and not know any stress or tension that our body's holding, and things that may be running on our mind or in the back of our mind, and things like that as well. So yeah, let's check in with ourselves and see how we are. So today's episode, procrastination. I genuinely felt like when I was writing this, planning this episode and writing it all out and stuff, I felt like my pen was on fire. Like that everything was just coming out flowing out easy, and I was like, yeah, this is what I need to talk about today. 100%. You know, I've put the episode of the title for today's episode is Procrastination is the Assassination of Your Destination. And someone said that to me a few months ago, and it was really like insightful. I think it's a saying from someone else. Like I don't really know as to who, but apparently it's like a famous saying or something. But that person that I was talking to had told me that, and like I remember writing it down. And when I was coming into like set up for the pod and like plan this stuff, like I came across that post-it note, and it really stuck with me. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that woman saying that to me. And I think that sparked something in me. I'm thinking of Inception now, the film. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. But really, really good film. But seeing that word and seeing that saying, I was like, okay. And then I had no idea really as to like what I was going to talk about today. I'll be very honest. Like I said, I keep being very, really honest, and I'm putting out all my business, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I thought, yeah, no, actually, let me talk about that, because that is something that I've just come off the back of, is procrastinating, from doing the pod, from, you know, doing like other things that I need and want to be doing as well, like studying. And it's just so easy to do that. It's really, really easy to put things off and delay what it is that we need to do and be like, oh yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'd even like set a plan out for myself for the week, you know, as to the things that I need to focus on each day, like how I do for the gym. I thought, okay, let me use that strategy. Did I stick to it? Did I stick to it? One day, and then that was it. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll do it. And then kept putting it off. And I just thought, no, I can't. And I've been doing it for months. And I thought, no, I can't do this anymore. So procrastination is the assassination of your destination, girlies. So let's get into it. What is the definition of procrastination? I've kind of blended two definitions together when I was doing some like research like behind it. So it is the voluntary, unnecessary act of delaying something that must be done despite knowing there will be negative consequences. And I feel like I just got like a little bit of a something just then, because it's true. Like there are some keywords I really want to point out in that definition there, which, you know, are the points that I'll be raising in today's episode. The main three that stuck out for me is, you know, unnecessary, negative consequences, and voluntary. So my first point is procrastination is unnecessary. When something is unnecessary, to me, like how I interpret that is kind of like, it's not something that we prioritize. It's not important. Like we don't do it for a reason. Like there's a reason that we're not doing something, so it's unnecessary. And I'm going to use the podcast because it is like the main thing that had been swirling in my brain of like, I was putting off from coming back, putting off from doing it. And I really had to ask myself, like, what is it? Why am I procrastinating so much from either not planning the episodes, or why am I not recording the episodes? Why am I not putting it on, updating the page, like the social media page? Why am I not putting into motion what I said that I'll put into motion? So I really asked myself those things, and it was fear, fear, overwhelm, lack of motivation. Those are the main things for me. And the thing is, motivation is never linear. Like it's not going to be something where you're going to have that steady pace, just like with anything, to be honest with you. But motivation comes when you begin to do things, like when you're more disciplined, when you're actually consistent with something. That's when you have more of the motivation. Today, I feel motivated to do it because I've now been consistent with, for example, recording 2 episodes. So my motivation now has actually gone up. Whereas before, when I was thinking about it, procrastinating about it, my mind was just like, I have no motivation to do it. Anyway, so that was like my own thing. I had a lack of motivation. I was also overwhelmed. something where so much different things going on, but then also as well, like when it came to thinking about the podcast, I was like, yeah, but I need to do this, and I want to perfect this, and I need to include this, and I need to do that, and yeah, but what about this, and plans that I guess I have for the pod, or ideas that I have, and everything like that is something that will naturally fall into place, or will fall into place once I've started. Some things you just have to start, not have everything in place, because I feel like sometimes that's also a form of procrastination, to kind of like want to have these things, or for example, I don't know, the best logo, or like specific artwork, I don't know, just different things that you kind of want, but in a way you have to ask yourself too, is am I just procrastinating from doing the main thing that I actually need to do? For example, I just kept like writing so many different episode ideas and things that I could include, and faff around with like the artwork and the content, and think of content ideas and everything like that, more research for things. And yes, while that's good, I kept doing that rather than just sit down and record an episode, edit that episode and put it out. And I know for me that, like, I was like, Ran, you are just procrastinating from doing the main thing that you actually need to do. So yeah, I was overwhelming myself a lot more than I actually needed to be doing. And it's normal, I think, as well, when you are a perfectionist, or you want things in place beforehand, and then you're also fearful, which is the next thing I'll kind of get onto. You're going to try and find any excuse, any little thing. I haven't got the time. I need to have this in place. I need to do this thing first, before you actually just do the task or thing that you need to do. So you're doing things that sometimes are actually unnecessary, as a form of procrastination. Yeah, the same person that said to me actually about the procrastination is the assassination of your destination. That is actually quite a tongue twister. It's given like Peter Piper picked a pepper, Polly Pocket picked a, like, it's it's literally given that. I can't lie. Anyway, so she also said to me as well that, like, fear is false evidence appearing real. Let's give a moment of silence for that, to be honest with you. Like, false evidence appearing real. Fear. When we're fearful of something, whether it's fear of what people are going to say, fear of how we look, fear of how certain things are going to be received and interpreted and understood, those were the things that was coming from me, which is why I was procrastinating from coming back to the pod, because it's like, it's been a few months longer than I anticipated. What people are going to say, what people are going to think, like, can I come back? Like, I was fearful of those things. I was fearful of that. So I was causing myself to stop. And if anything, that fear was causing something as small as recording an episode or putting it out or posting on social media about it to become a lot bigger than it actually is. Something that is as small as this, that was overwhelming me, was becoming such a big thing in my mind. And that is how sometimes our mind works, especially when we continue to feed into that fear. And there's no evidence. There's actually like no evidence behind some thoughts that we have in our mind, or certain things that like we're fearful of. Like, some things are actually false, but we can create them. Like, our mind is a very powerful thing, so we can create them to feel like they're actually real when actually it's not. I also had a conversation with like one of my friends, I think like 2 weeks ago now actually, and I was explaining all these things. We're catching up, kikiing, like I had such a great time. I hadn't seen her in like probably like a year, to be honest with you. So it was so nice to get together again. And I was like explaining like all these things, that I'm doing and catching up, and I explained about the podcast and everything as well. And I, opened up about those fears that I was having, like I just shared with you guys. And the same thing that I say to other people is essentially what she had said to me of, do it through the fear anyway. Even if you're fearful of something, just still do it, just still complete it, because it's either you stay in that cycle of fear, stay stuck, stay not moving, stay in your freeze response. As humans, we have the fight, flight, or freeze response to certain things, response to fear, like, with our nervous system and everything like that. So you stay stuck in that, or you move through it. You move through the fear. You keep going, and you essentially fight through that fear, which is a choice, and leads me on to my next point. That procrastination is voluntary. The definition had said that, or the two definitions that I had blended had said that it's the voluntary, unnecessary act of delaying something. When we think of voluntary, I think of voluntary work. I know for me, voluntary is something where, you do something, you're giving up your time, your free time, your spare time to volunteer to do something that has a positive impact. It's something where you're not actually getting paid for it, right? That's what volunteering is, voluntary. It's also a choice. You're choosing to do that thing, and you're choosing to, act on something or not act on something. You're choosing to give your free time. And as humans, I know for me, as a human being, I love something that's free, and I love something that, you have a choice to do. We love autonomy. We love having choices, the paradox of choice. Like, there's so much choice out there. We can choose to do things. We can choose to respond to certain things. We can choose how we respond to certain things. We can choose how we use our time. We can choose what we use our time doing, what behaviors that we do, our habits, routine. Like, we choose all of those things, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. And so when it comes to procrastination, that's also a choice. We're choosing not to do that thing. We're voluntarily choosing not to do something that we know we need to do or want to do or is on our mind, whether that is studying, whether that is doing a podcast, whether that is completing a certain task in work, whether that is, doing a specific chore, mowing the lawn, doing the laundry, washing your hair. Like, I don't know. We're choosing to procrastinate, not doing something. And when start of the year, New Year's resolutions, what do you want for yourself? All these career goals and everything like that. I said to myself, like, okay, I've made a decision now. What I want to do a career, what I want personal life, what is it that I'm trying to achieve? What's my New Year's resolutions? I'm making those choices, making those decisions. And, it's like, okay, great. I've got a plan. Got this plan that I have for myself now that I want to do. Perfect. What am I doing? What decisions am I making? What choices am I making that is going to help me get to achieve those goals? And it's either make those small steps to complete it, or procrastinate and delay what I need to be doing. Assassinating and delaying where I need to get to my destination. Do you know what I mean? And so we have to think about, like, what is it that we're procrastinating from? Why are we also procrastinating from it? Like, I know when I was in that period of procrastination, it was something where I was like, okay, I know what I want for myself. And every time I was leaving it another day, not completing this thing, not doing that thing, it like, I would end up just feeling like guilty, like ashamed of myself, like annoyed, frustrated at myself, causing them negative consequences, which is what it says in the definition. Those are the things and feelings that was coming up for me, because I was like, okay, I know I should be doing it. I'm paralyzed by, the fear, the procrastination of it, so it's not helping me achieve anything. Otherwise, it just stays in your brain. It's like a dark cloud. That's how I envision it. It's literally like a dark cloud, the ones in the cartoons that, essentially kind of just like hang over your head for however long. Like, if you're upset or sad about something in a little cartoon, you just got that cloud hanging over you with rain. That's what it feels like. That's what it felt like it kind of also felt like a bit like a shadow, something that you kind of just like can't shake off, or the feeling like someone's watching you. You can feel that like something's watching over you, or watching you, your every move and what you're doing. And every time I was deciding that maybe to like watch TV or have a bit of rest instead of doing the things that I need to do, it just plays in the back of your mind. So you can't even relax. You can't actually enjoy what it is that you need to do because you're feeling tense. It's like I'm watching this, but really my shoulders are up here, like high up to my ears and to my neck, and I'm watching like this, so it feels like that. It's just something where you can't shake that feeling, and it's kind of like either continue to choose and allow yourself to feel that way, or control it, do the things that you can control and make the decision to stop that feeling and just complete like one step of that task that you need to do. So that was my second point. Procrastination is voluntary. My next point and last point is procrastination causes the negative consequences. So as I just said, I was feeling, annoyance, guilt, shame, frustration at myself. It was all at myself because I've said to myself, okay, I'm going to do something, and then I'm not actually completing it. And I think sometimes it can have, like, going deeper, it can have like that negative impact on you psychologically, because also you're disappointing yourself. You're saying that you're going to do something and then not actually doing it. That kind of begins to, I think, eat away a little bit. Very tiny, but I was going to say tinily, but that can chip away at your confidence. That can chip away at the trust in yourself and your decisions. Because you're saying, I'm going to do this. And then really and truly, you'd rather stay in that comfort zone rather than move and help you grow in your confidence and grow the trust in yourself and your abilities. And have that feeling of reward. At the start of the episode, I said, I'm feeling motivated. I'm feeling really excited because I've said and completed what it is that I said that I'm going to do. And sometimes, like, I don't think we tend to like notice that as much, the impact that those things can have on us. If we say we're going to do something and we do it, and we say we're going to do something and we don't actually do it. For example, say we're going to go to the gym. I'm going to, start after not doing it for months, and then you don't do it. Yeah, it's just one day that's being missed. And then it's just like, oh, I can't be bothered. And then it never really gets done, or you never actually end up going. But a way to overcome that is start off small. Go for a bit of a walk, or go to the gym and do 20 minutes, half an hour, or do a home workout. Those are the things that you can control within that, and you feel better for doing it. Like for me personally, I know I end up feeling more pressure on myself. It kind of causes that pressure of like, okay, but I'm not doing it. And all you're doing is talking about it and not completing the action. And so you begin to feel pressure, because also the longer you leave something, the bigger it's going to become in your mind. Something that could have taken 5 minutes has now taken an hour, because you've left it for so long. So yeah, it definitely has an impact. Definitely feel that pressure for sure. And like I'd mentioned as well about, you're in that fight, flight or freeze response. And I feel like when we're in that procrastination zone, we're kind of just freezing, like, we're not responding to certain things that we need to respond to. And also I feel like time also goes quicker. I don't know why. When you're not doing what you need to be doing, voluntarily not doing what you need to be doing, I feel like time also goes quicker, which is weird. I don't know what it is, like the time to complete it, because you're how can I articulate this? Because you're delaying something, that time goes quicker. So for example, now I'm thinking to myself, when I came back from Ghana, I said, yeah, in January I'll start back. We're now in May. Hello? Hello? We're now in May. That time has gone so quick of me procrastinating for like 4 months. And yes, time probably would have gone the same even if I had recorded the episodes. But I feel like because I've procrastinated for so long, we're now in May. So where is the time gone? So yeah, definitely has that kind of like impact, those negative consequences for sure. When I think of it as well, I kind of think of like procrastinating, like, when girlies, when you have to do an everything shower and you're procrastinating for so long for doing it because like, oh my days, I have to like shave, I have to wash my hair, condition my hair, I have to exfoliate, like I have to do like a body scrub, I have to also then do the skincare on top of that. And it's like, it takes so long to mentally prepare for that, to be honest with you. Like, it takes so freaking, you have to like shave the mustache, do the eyebrows, dermaplan, the list can go on and on and on. That takes so long. Like, that is literally a whole day in itself. And sometimes we procrastinate from doing that. Girls, even that is just sounding so stressful. And then I also think of like girlies in the black community, when we have to, when it's like hair wash day, yeah, that's a wrap. Like, we have to mentally prepare. Like, I know for myself, at least, I have to mentally prepare like 2 weeks before for me to like find a day that I can do this. Once I've chosen my day, I'm like, okay, 2 weeks prior, I have to choose from. Unbraid the hair. If you're a braid girly, yeah, unbraid the hair. You gotta like do a hot oil. Then you gotta do a hair mask. Then you gotta finally wash the hair. And mind you, those first few things, it probably takes like the whole day anyway in itself. So then we're on to the next day. And mind you, the calendar has to be clear. Like, there's not, no, let me go out afterwards in the evening. No. You have to do those first 3 things. Then you gotta wash your hair, condition the hair, do a deep conditioning of the hair, wash that out. Then you can do, I don't know, gel braids or something like that. Like, wash the hair and blow dry even. And then you can finally like braid the hair and breathe. That can be like 1 to 2 business days, and sometimes we could procrastinate from doing that. Essentially, I know that's what it's like for myself. If I've just outed myself, then thing. But if not, drop a comment below. Let me know if that's like that for anyone else. But we can procrastinate from doing that. Sometimes we'll leave the hair in for a bit longer because we cannot be bothered. But yeah, procrastination can cause those negative consequences, can cause us to feel a bit disappointed in ourselves as well. And yeah, those are my like 3 points. Procrastination is voluntary, it's unnecessary, and it causes negative consequences. So we have to ask ourselves like some of these questions sometimes as well. What is the reason for this procrastination? Why am I procrastinating? Is it something where it's fear? You like can't be bothered? You're overwhelmed, you don't have time. But then, it's a voluntary thing. And like I said earlier, when you're volunteering for something, it's time that you actually have to spare to be able to complete whatever it is that you need to complete. And we make time for things easily. Same way how we make time to sit and watch TV. Same way how we make time to go out with our friends. Same way how we make time to go and scroll on something. We can use that to be doing something else. Yeah, so it's definitely good to be able to ask yourself that question. And for like anyone that is struggling with that, just start off small. Start off with one small thing to just chip away at it, and it will really, really help. And then slowly be able to build yourself up. Sometimes I think we try and just tackle something as we can, take a massive chunk of something, and really you just have to start off small and build your way up. So girlies, we have come to the end of the episode. And yeah, like, comment and subscribe. And if you haven't followed the Notes to Her pod, so make sure to give us a follow as well on Instagram. And you can also give myself a follow, Rianne Walker. But instead of the E in Walker, it is an X. And I will see you girlies in the next episode. Bye.